All right, it is 12:02 p.m. Central Time, so we are going to get started. First off, I want to thank you all for attending the Q-Centrix Institute Training for the Highest Data Integrity in the Industry webinar. Today, we'll be speaking with 5 Q-Centrix experts on how Q-Centrix Institute is preparing clinical data experts to deliver the highest data integrity to our partners. My name is Christina, and I'm a part of the partner experience team here at Q-Centrix, and I'll be your host today. I'm going to quickly go over a few housekeeping items today before we begin. First and foremost, all participants have been muted to maintain the quality of today's discussion. If you have a question for today's presenters, please submit them to the Q&A button located in your participant controls at the bottom of the screen. If we do not get to your question during the live webinar time, we'll follow up with you via email afterwards. If you would like to refer back to this webinar or want to share our discussion with a colleague, this webinar is being recorded and will be shared via email within the next week. And finally, once our webinar concludes, a link to fill out a quick post-webinar survey will appear in your browser and in the chat box, and we would greatly appreciate your participation so we can continue to provide you all with the best webinars possible. And that is it on housekeeping. So without further ado, I'd like for our panelists to come off video if you haven't already and to introduce themselves. Alyssa, we'll start with you.
Thanks, Christina. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone. I also want to welcome and thank you for joining the call today. My name is Alyssa Luck, and I lead our people function, also commonly known as human resources, here at Q-Centrix.
Hi, my name is Jelena Virajevic, and I lead our client services operations and our data integrity teams. I just celebrated 8 years with the Q, and I'm excited to share more about how we are helping evolve the use of clinical data in the healthcare industry.
Hi, I'm Shannon Neely. I oversee our learning and development group and function at Q-Centrix, and excited to chat with you all today.
Hi, I'm Sandra Farrow, and I previously was a client services senior manager responsible for various abstraction teams, and have recently been in the role of senior manager for Q-Centrix Institute, responsible for developing and launching the program.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. My name is Ashraf Samir. I used to work as a team lead, interacting directly with the quality teams at the hospitals. Now I am one of the clinical data trainers. I train and support the participants on a daily basis as they go through the program.
All right, thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. I'm excited for today's discussion. So with that, let's dive in. So less than a year ago, Q-Centrix launched the Q-Centrix Institute, fondly known as QCI, as a response to the growing need for the clinical data expertise amid projected skill shortages. In the news release of this project, Milton Silva-Craig, our Chief Executive Officer, mentioned that as stewards of the clinical data management industry, QCI is as much for the broader healthcare industry as it is for us. Alyssa and Jelena, can you both kick things off today by speaking to Milton's statement and how the industry inspired this project and how you see the QCI evolving, solving an industry-wide need?
Sure. So over the last decade, Q-Centrix has hired some of the most talented clinical data experts in the country. In fact, our company's roots are in data abstraction, which was our core offering when we began as an abstraction services company where hospitals would outsource this body of work. In the years since, our team and work has grown and diversified, developing proprietary information management and workflow technology that enables an efficient and quality that is really unmatched in the industry. Most recently, we've been building on this strong foundation, our technology, our clinical expertise, information and analytics platform to provide enhanced insights for our partners to improve patient outcomes, ultimately getting us one step closer to achieving our mission of safe, consistent, quality healthcare for all. So in 2021, as the initial impact of COVID began to subside, we started seeing a few factors converge. First, a much higher and growing need for high quality clinical data. And second, a nursing and healthcare worker shortage, which further narrowed the industry's primary sources for talent. We knew that doing things the way they'd always been done wasn't going to be enough for the projected need. And we also knew that we were positioned better than anyone else to solve for both the incremental need for high quality clinical data and the shortage of skills it takes to expertly curate this data. We knew we were really well positioned for a couple of reasons. So one, we had successfully trained people with diverse clinical backgrounds in the past, but we had really only done this on a one-off basis. Two, we had the technology to support the training and ongoing work. But most of all, we had passionate and highly engaged teams. And don't just take my word for that. In our most recent survey, almost 90% of our employees said that Q-Centrix is a great place to work. So with the knowledge, the technology, the teams, the talent, and the passion to help build something great, we were really confident in our approach to developing outstanding clinical data abstraction experts. We knew that out of the gate, it would help not just us, but the industry address this demand for high quality clinical data. Yelena, what else would you add?
Thanks, Alyssa. So over the years, Q-Centrix has also become a career destination. And this program is another investment in talent, developing a new group of team members, joining our company, as well as giving the people within the organization an opportunity to grow and develop. From a market perspective, we are helping the industry unlock the value of clinical data, from oncology to cardiovascular, by mentoring and training these amazing clinical data experts. Speaking of oncology, where we have grown rapidly, we partnered with schools to help certified tumor registrars, also known as CTRs, in training, get the experience they need to improve patient care and safety. In fact, our program produces first-time pass rates, which are higher than the national trend. And any of you that are familiar with this exam, it's quite difficult. And the solid foundation our team members receive increases the odds of them entering their chosen profession even sooner. And once the group passes their exam, our QCI program gives them the experience, the opportunity, and the support they need to begin abstracting immediately. You'll also hear from one of our trainers today who was promoted into this role. And we were able to multiply his amazing expertise across the many people he's training in the organization. And this is just the beginning. We started this formal institute less than 9 months ago, which is crazy to even fathom, across 3 of our largest service offerings. And then we quickly added 2 more as we saw early success. And the thing that blew me away is we saw folks across our whole organization jumping in to support the development of this really important initiative. The excitement and the support across the business was incredible, because from my heart, it also closely aligned with our mission, culture, and our values. And our partners agree that there is nothing more valued than clinical data. And there's already evidence that this work will help the industry advance well beyond the hospital market. And we're just excited to see it evolve.
Thank you, Yelena and Alyssa. You both make it sound so easy, but I know designing and launching a large-scale training program like this has to be a massive undertaking. Shannon, you know more about this than most. Can you speak to what it took to put something like this together? How do you pull it off? And what did the initial candidates think of it?
Yeah, sure thing. It definitely was not easy, but it has been really exciting and rewarding. So as Alyssa mentioned, we've trained people in an organic way on a smaller scale at times in the past when the opportunity arose, and we had success with it. So in response to the industry and market factors just mentioned, we started to really push ourselves to think about how we could scale this up in a more formal way. So we listened to the market, we listened to our team. We know that they have a true thirst for knowledge and improvement and development. So this opportunity to develop a formal learning and training program and serve in a role of training others was super aligned with our culture and really exciting for us. So we started by leveraging the strengths and experiences of our amazing team of clinical data experts to broaden our scope with the organic training that I mentioned previously. but we knew it was going to take a lot of time and resources and investment to do it right. So we saw the need to have a team of dedicated clinical data trainers and create a formal learning pathway with structured training and materials and experiences programmed in along the way, as well as learning validation to ensure our high standards were being met throughout. As far as what it took to put this together, it took a lot of focused effort from hundreds of our team members across many different areas of our business, from our clinical team to our education team, our product team, many of our executives that were guiding us through a weekly steering committee. And initial candidates have had a really positive experience based on what we know from both quantitative and qualitative feedback, some of which you can see here on the screen with the quotes that are being shared.
So that initial exploratory investment in the program opened your eyes up to the huge demand that existed for programs like this, I'm sure. Alyssa, can you share a little bit about why we believe that this is an investment worth making, and what about the early success of the program inspired this continued work? And then also why other organizations aren't starting similar programs of their own?
Yeah, sure. This has been a huge investment. So it takes time and resources to train people from all sorts of diverse clinical backgrounds to abstract the way we do and to our standards of exceptionally high fidelity. Our standards and expectations are high because, as Yelena mentioned, we believe there's nothing more valuable than clinical data, because it's absolutely critical to delivering safe, consistent, quality healthcare for all. To answer your question about why we believed and still believe more than ever that this is a worthwhile investment, well, there's a couple of really important key early indicators. So first was interest in the program. So when we first shared information about this investment with our team, we had literally hundreds of current team members reaching out to see how they could get involved and help, as well as refer their friends and their family and their former coworkers and other people that they knew. So we've had thousands of people apply to these roles, and we found incredibly talented, knowledgeable, smart, passionate clinical experts to join our team. Second, we've seen strong scores across all of the key metrics that we look at. So we developed a robust learning pathway that measures key learning and performance criteria. An important one early on was quality, of course, and we're really seeing success across all of our metrics. We have new team members joining us monthly, and there are currently more than 150 people in the program, within which we've seen incredibly strong retention that can be attributed to the development and the support. And then finally, to your question of why isn't everyone doing this? It takes a lot of time and resources to do this well. It's much easier to just hire people who've already done this type of work and already have the skills and can immediately be off and running. And then, as I shared in my earlier comments, we were extremely well positioned with the internal talent and technology and infrastructure needed to not just take on this important work, but to do it really well and effectively. Ultimately, we fundamentally believe this is what we needed to do to help ensure our industry has access to the high fidelity clinical data that's so critical to improving lives.
Thank you, Alyssa. So QCI provides fantastic opportunities for clinical staff to learn and develop their skills, but we mentioned earlier how this program is for the healthcare industry as a whole. Sandra, as our Senior Manager of Client Services here at Q-Centrix, can you discuss how our partners benefit from these investments as well? Does QCI prepare candidates to meet the high quality standards we promise and that our partners demand?
Great questions, Christina. Starting with the hiring process, we leveraged our clinical data experts to understand the clinical experience and competencies that would be needed to assess and hire the best candidates. QCI is a 6-month immersive training program with a team of fully dedicated clinical data trainers. We have a robust learning pathway that builds a foundation of knowledge with quality checks at each phase. and that's to ensure that individuals are comprehending the information and appropriately applying it. We know our partners rely on good data to impact patient safety, and data integrity is a big part of Q-Centrix DNA, and it ties to our brand promise. It touches every part of our business, and QCI is no exception. Quality is a critical component of the program, and we review each individual's quality weekly, so we're confident they're meeting our high standards and can successfully transition to a live partner project.
Interesting. So there's clearly a large investment of time and thought that goes into assuring our data integrity standards are met, much of it relying on our clinical data trainers. Ashraf, as one of these trainers, could you share a little bit more about how this program works? What should our partners know about the people they're trusting with their clinical data? And what does a typical week at QCI look like for those interested in applying or participating?
Thank you, Christina. I'm happy to share that. As mentioned by my colleagues, the program has multiple phases, and it starts with learning about abstraction in general, Q-Centrix systems and tools, and some core anatomy, physiology, and pharmacology concepts. The next phase is a detailed abstraction training, as shown in the slide. This is specific to each service line, and it involves practice in a simulated environment that exactly mirrors the partner's real environment. Each week focuses on a concept or section within the abstraction form, and it starts with training modules. Each module has a quiz at the end with 80% passing score. This is followed by discussion with the trainer and then immediately jumping into practice in the simulated environment. We use multiple teaching tools in order to accommodate for participants' learning preferences. Quality is evaluated throughout the week to ensure the participant can apply the knowledge acquired accurately and is ready to progress to the next section. We look for 97% score on the quality. That's pretty high, but we would like to maintain top quality in our work. I'd like also to add that even though the program is highly structured and standardized, it does allow for flexibility and adaptation. This is important because we anticipated and we are actually seeing a wide spectrum of backgrounds and experiences among applicants in the initial cohorts. So trainers continuously identify areas for improvement for individual participants and work on them throughout the program. This will ensure uniform understanding and consistent abstraction practices among all participants at the end of the program. And this is really key to data integrity. I hope that answers your question, Christina.
Yes, thank you. Now, I know there are quite a few people at various different stages in the program today. Have we learned anything new as people have begun to work their way through the program? Has there been anything that surprised us along the way? We can start with Yelena and Shannon, but I encourage everyone else in the panel to jump in with their thoughts as well.
Sounds good. Thanks, Christina. I think the biggest thing is we knew that this would be a lot. And I think we have all collectively, breathed a sigh of relief that, and sort of the awareness that it takes time to do this right. And as you've all heard today, so many people have come together to collaborate to create such a robust offering. And many people inside and outside of the organization showed excitement and interest. And we found talented people who we may not have found otherwise. All of this was not necessarily a surprise, but a validation of what we really knew that existed out there. I think the biggest thing that I'll share that I've been surprised at is that we have heard in the news almost daily about the shortage of clinical talent and broadly in the market. And we were beyond excited to learn that with the right support to amplify clinical experience, we realized that there is no shortage of clinical talent available and interested in growing with Q-Centrix. And all of this gave us even more confidence that we can help solve this industry problem together. Shannon, I'm sure you have some great insights as well that I hadn't hit.
No, I completely agree with all of that, Yelena. And to add to that, I think the biggest question going into this is, can we do this at scale? And what we've learned is that we can. But as I mentioned earlier, it wasn't easy. We quickly learned that we needed a consistent process and approach and the right people supporting it. which is what led us to having the dedicated clinical data trainers and creating the learning pathway to ensure that we were creating a great learning experience every time for trainees. It also led us to the need for the simulated practice environment that Ashraf mentioned earlier, that mirrored the live environment, but provided a safe place for practice and learning and feedback. And that was a really cool collaboration internally for us with our product and engineering team. They were excited to jump right in and help stand this up quickly to support QCI. And the only other thing that I'll add was it was exciting to see how our cohort approach gave the trainee peer, manager, trainer, and clinical project leader support, which created this opportunity for them to build relationships and a support system for collaboration and continuous learning, which ultimately gives them the right tools for success long-term once they're out of QCI. And I think it just makes for a more enjoyable experience as well, since working remotely can sometimes feel isolating. It's fun to have a more collaborative and team environment.
Yeah, I completely agree as well with both of you, Yelena and Shannon. I just wanted to add that having trained people myself in the past at individual level, I was really impressed by how this program can take participants with different backgrounds and bring them all the way to abstracting successfully and in a consistent manner. I knew it could be done, but I had some doubts, honestly, that it could be done at such a scale. This is very important because this is, in my opinion, this is a game changer because you are no longer bound by a limited pool of clinical resources that are already in a great demand at the bedside. Thank you.
All right, so it sounds like this program is still developing as the needs of the industry change. Can any of our panelists tell us a little bit about what's next? Where do we see the future of QCI and what are we doing to expand this program even further?
I'll take this one. So as you all can probably tell, we are very pleased with the start of QCI and have big plans for the future. So first, we're going to continue leveraging our culture of continuous improvement to make the experiences and the program even stronger for those who continue to join monthly. And then QCI is going to expand further into other parts of our business as well. I know there's a variety of people on this call today, from current partners to prospective partners, to representatives from educational institutions where we've successfully worked with their students on practicums, to people who are interested in growing their careers with Q-Centrix, and current team members who are part of Q-Centrix today. And I think the core takeaway for all is that this program enables us to continue delivering high quality, consistent, and expanded offerings across the healthcare market, while also increasing opportunities for a broad and exceptional group of healthcare professionals, and also helping the industry continue to grow and have high quality data to use to help improve lives and patient lives. We're going to move into Q&A broadly for people on the call in a moment. I'd invite all of you to share thoughts and questions you have on QCI. In the meantime, I really do hope that you found this session and some of the thoughts that we've all had as a valuable use of your time. And then for those of you who are on the call who are current Q-Centrix team members, I do want to take this opportunity to thank you. Your contributions to our business and mission are truly making a difference every day. So with that, Christina, I think I'll turn it back to you, and then I think we'll open it up to Q&A broadly. Yeah. Thanks.
Great. So we do have a few questions in, but let's start with one of them. So, one second. What should I do or know if I want to apply to the program? Melissa, would you like to take that one?
Yeah. All right. Awesome. I really appreciate this question. So thank you for asking. So as I mentioned earlier, we've had just an amazing response to the program. We're thrilled with the caliber of talent that have applied and have found just exceptional people to join our team. So currently for QCI, we are actively looking for individuals who have their certified tumor registrar certification, so the common acronym is CTR, or are close to completing that coursework. You're also more than welcome to look at other non-QCI opportunities on our Q-Centrix.com careers website to see if any of those opportunities line up with your experience and interests. We're hiring across our expanding and growing business. For those of you who are breaking into this field outside of entry-level oncology roles, we're currently working through many applicants are coming through our hiring process right now. We're adding new candidates to future hiring lists. And in the meantime, please continue to keep an eye out on our Q-Centrix.com careers webpage for when we repost our clinical data specialist, which is the job title for our QCI role, which you'll see reposted on our site when we're reopening broad applications again for people who do not have prior abstraction experience.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. I'm going to transition a little bit. The next question we received is, if we have a partnership with Q-Centrix, can we access this education platform for our own internal staff?
Yeah, I can jump in on this one. So currently our proprietary Q-Centrix Institute program in its entirety is something we use internally only, but we're always eager to collaborate with our partners on their education needs and determine how we can work together on them. So please don't hesitate to engage us on those needs, and we can work together and figure out how to support you.
Thank you, Shannon. All right, next question is about investments. So why are you investing in this platform and not advanced technology like AI and machine learning? Isn't that more accurate than human data experts, no matter how educated they are?
I can take this one, Christina. So we are investing in both technology and service, but we can't expect our technology and data offering without the clinical expertise. I often say that our clinical heartbeat is what pulses through and runs our organization. And so, as you also know, patient care is dynamic. Its evolution makes it really difficult to reduce this work and knowledge to just a fully automated model. And so we really believe in both. The technology is absolutely necessary to support the high fidelity data our partners can rely on. And with the clinical expertise, we're able to collectively improve patient care and patient safety.
Thank you, Yelena. All right, we've got quite a few other questions related to careers, and I think Alyssa's hit on a few of them. So I'm just going to quickly go through them, and Alyssa, if you can elaborate on a few of these for us, that'd be great. One question is, have we already selected everyone who will receive this training?
The answer is no. We continue to have people joining our organization monthly, and we consider this to be a pipeline of talent that we will continue to have people joining into our organization on an ongoing basis. So we do have many people in our application process already across many of our service lines already. So for those of you, if you are interested in starting to apply now outside of our oncology registry, there are a number of applicants that are already in progress already, but we will continue to have people joining within the organization on an ongoing basis.
All right, thank you. Not sure who would like to take this, but we have a question about new CSLs. This question is, would a new CSL benefit from any of the classes at QCI? I have abstraction experience, but I didn't know if there were some core classes that would be beneficial. Thank you.
Yeah, I can take that one. There may be. I think that's going to be really individualized. So I would definitely encourage you to speak with your direct manager, and I'm certainly happy to work with them or work with you guys as well to figure that out based on your unique, skill set, background, experience, et cetera, and what might be beneficial. But certainly those there are many different educational modules and experiences and things like that that have been created as part of QCI that we can leverage in other internal ways within our company as well as needed.
All right, a few others. Is this training only for those employed by Q-Centrix? So you want to take that one?
Yes.
There's your answer. All right. Next question we have. Do you hire CTRs without certification? I'm currently in school right now for CTR. I think we've hit on this, but we can reiterate it for you.
Yeah, definitely. We are not only working with folks in prep for their CTR exam, we're working with schools to help with practicum as well. So absolutely an opportunity.
Thank you, Elena. Another question, is this just oncology based? I'm a registered nurse abstractor for a hospital system for cardiac.
I can just take this one too. It's for all service lines beyond, it's for cardiac, core measure, get with the guidelines, stroke, and STS as well. We've been sharing more from the oncology space today, just because this is an area that we're continuing to invest and develop. But all of these wonderful service lines are absolutely open. Yeah, thank you, NPCI. You're welcome.
And just to add that question, they referenced that they're currently a nurse abstractor for a hospital system. So if you already are abstracting and have experience in that space, you wouldn't necessarily need to come in through our current QCI training program, but there are other postings available on our jobs, on our careers page, that are for people that have prior experience abstracting, and those may be of interest as well.
All right, thank you. I believe we've had all of these questions, but if there are any other questions specific to career opportunities, you are welcome to follow up with us via email. I just want to thank everyone for joining us today for our webinar, and thank you to our panelists for sharing your expertise and insights on the need for clinical data training and some of the solutions that exist. If you have any more questions, feel free to send them to QC_events@qcentrix.com, and we'll be sure to respond as soon as possible. And as you exit this webinar, you should see a link to a survey pop up in your browser, or you can click on the link that I'll pop in the chat. Either way works, but we encourage you to complete this to let us know if you found this discussion valuable. It should take less than 2 minutes and would help us greatly. So I'll pop this in the chat for everyone right now. And with that, as I mentioned before, we will be sending an email with the recording along to all of the registrants within the next week. So thank you so much again, and have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.